Now we got to make our pigtail, so we're going to start with some of the wires that we put together. So what I like to do in this, I'd like to definitely use flux on the wiring. When you dip that in there, that'll make a real nice clean as it solders itself together. That's an electrical cleaner, so you just tap a little flux on there, and then you will turn that over and actually install that into place, trying to solder the connection together. That's going to hold your wire right in place. Now remember, when using this solder, and I use a rosin core solder, so it makes it very clean, but you will actually put a little heat to this right here first, and then just touch your solder right there on it. Need for it to warm up first. I thought it was on. Okay, we're ready. Doesn't take a whole lot. You can see now we're good and solid. So flip it around, where we call this the jumper wire. We're actually making the other side. It's a 4-pin connection. See, and you see how that flux bubbled up right through that area where it cleaned it all first. And then what I like about that, then you can double check your connection first and see that it cannot pull away either side. Very nice and sturdy. So on this particular one, it'll go in what we call the left hand side of this. And always remember to put your tabs down, because when you hear the click, see there, you didn't hear it click, so therefore you can pull it right back out. So if you can just make sure that when you put that in there and you hear a good solid click, then it's tight in there. It doesn't want to try to come back out on you. Hear that? And what I like to do with this is just kind of make sure that that stays pinched in the good direction, because all it is just running a jumper between those two terminals. So at this point then we're going to do the same thing with our hot wire, and this has our fuse block on it here, and we carry a 15 amp on this particular build. So do the same thing here, put that together. And all this is doing is just basically holding it in place, because your solder is what's going to make it all come together. Make sure your tip is good and clean, and that we keep water on our sponge there to where we can clean that tip. And the same thing, just set that down right there, and as you can tell, boom, bubbles up, makes it nice and tight. Doesn't take very much at all. What I see a lot of is people using too much solder in there, and it gums it all up. But definitely when you get done, please try to check it just to make sure. You kind of tug on it to where you know that it's good and sturdy. And in the same way here, this guy will go in the up position right here, and the click. I love the click. So now we're ready to install our pigtail process of the wiring loom. This actually is retrofit for a dry cell battery. This is not a wet cell battery. This is a dry cell battery. So we're going to go ahead and install the pigtail that we just developed onto the battery. Now, the thing about the SL70, you have to go ahead and hook your terminals up prior to installing the battery in, because of your clearance that we have as you slide the battery in. It's very tight, So therefore, you're going to slide this battery. Always put the red to the front of the bike. Okay, so your positive goes to the front of the bike, and there it fits right in there nice and snug. And then that puts our terminal right over here on the side that we need it in. So you can tell that we can now go ahead and just boom, put that together, and we are installed with the battery installed. So at that point, then you can reach around and grab your battery strap that secures the battery in place.